Hello, welcome back to a chapter a day. Happy Thursday. Nearing the end of the week. Hope your week is going well. If not, keep on praying and keep on pressing on. It'll work out. Today we'll be reading 2chronicles chapter 8. Yesterday we saw Solomon still dedicating at the end of his prayer the priests and the music singers, etc., did their part in praising and worshiping God, and God appeared to Solomon and told him, that he accepted his offering, and if he and his people kept God's commandments, God would be with them all the while. And that's the same with us today. If we stray from God, there's no one save, always saved. We can accept God today, and then tomorrow we go off and live the way the devil wants. That's not going to save us, okay? You have to walk with God daily. Okay, chapter 8. And it came to pass at the end of 20 years, wherein Solomon had built the house of the Lord and his own house. He was also dedicating his own house, a palace. I could just imagine. Okay. That the cities which Hiram had restored to Solomon, Solomon built them and caused the children of Israel to dwell there. And Solomon went to Hamath Zobah and prevailed against it. And he built Tadmor in the wilderness, and all the store cities which he built in Hamath. Also he built Beth Horon the upper, and Beth Horon the nether, fenced cities with walls, gates, and bars. So I guess back then, when they built a city, they had to protect it, because remember, back then it seemed to be conquered or conquering or be conquered. That's what the nation seemed to be doing. Verse 6. And Balath and all the store cities that Solomon had, and the chariot cities, and the cities of the horsemen, and all that Solomon desired to build in Jerusalem and in Lebanon, and throughout all the land of his dominion. As for all the people that were left of the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, which were not of Israel, but of their children who were left after them in the land, whom the children of Israel consumed not, them did Solomon make to pay tribute until this day. But of the children of Israel did Solomon make no servants for his work, but they were men of war, and chief of his captains, and captains of his chariots and horsemen. And these were the chief of King Solomon's officers, even 250 that bear rule over the people. So remember, God told them, do not make their brethren bondservants at all. So Solomon used the strangers that were among them, the people whose cities were conquered. They are the ones he used as bondservants. Verse 11. And Solomon brought up the daughter of Pharaoh out of the city of David unto the house that he had built for her. For he said, my wife shall not dwell in the house of David, king of Israel, because the places are holy, whereunto the ark of the Lord hath come. Now, this is kind of odd to me. If he knows his wife was not suitable to dwell in the city of David, why was that? Because she was a pagan. That's our thing. We know that these people we choose to marry or get involved with are not of God. And what do? We still entertain them and embrace them, much to our own destruction. Okay, verse 12. Then Solomon offered burnt offerings unto the Lord on the altar of the Lord, which he had built before the porch, even after a certain rate every day, offering according to the commandment of Moses on the Sabbaths and on the new moons and on the solemn feasts 3 times in the year, even in the feast of unleavened bread and in the feast of weeks and in the feast of tabernacles. All of these were the different types of feasts that God had instructed them to keep since Moses was leading them. Verse 14. And he appointed, according to the order of David his father, the courses of the priests to their service, and the Levites to their charges, to praise the minister before the priests as the duty of every day required. The porters also by their courses at every gate, for so had David the man of God commanded. And they departed not from the commandment of the king unto the priests and Levites concerning any matter, or concerning the treasures. Now all the work of Solomon was prepared unto the day of the foundation of the house of the Lord, until it was finished. So the house of the Lord was perfected. Then went Solomon to Ezion Geber and to Eloth at the seaside in the land of Edom. And Huram sent him by the hands of his servants ships, and servants that had knowledge of the sea. And they went with the servants of Solomon to Ophir, and took thence 450 talents of gold, and brought them to King Solomon. My gosh. When we talk about gold today, we have little chains and little earrings and nose rings and wherever else we can put jewelry around our necks. I mean, listen to the gold. These people were moving like, I don't want to say mountains, that might be an exaggeration, but I mean, they were moving gold. And I'm sure, like in blocks, in brick sizes. That's the type of gold they were dealing with. 450 talents. I don't know what a talent is, but that was massive gold, I am sure. They had ships to bring them from one place to the next. And that's the end of our reading for today. Again, these are just recounts of what we've already read. Solomon has finished building the temple. He's finished building his house. He has huge dedication. Hundreds and tens of thousands of livestock have been offered up, sacrificed, and offered up to God. God has accepted his offering. He has met with Solomon again, told him he delights in him. If he would keep his commandments and the people, God will be with them, be their God. But if they stray, God will not be their God. That's the same instruction to us today. And yep, more gold, and all of this is all of this is people paying tribute to Solomon, people hearing of his greatness and wanting to give to him, just like any diplomat of any country, any leader would do for another one. They've heard of their greatness, they want to form an alliance, and they give them gifts. And this is what Solomon did and what he received. And that's the end of 2chronicles chapter 8. Thank you all again for listening, viewing, and until our next reading, remember, faith comes when we hear God's word. So keep on listening.